So first step is use of our prep fluid. Now before we've got to this stage, we've already cleaned the car and we've polished this part of the car ready for the application of the ceramic coating. So with this part of the coating, we're going to apply the prep fluid first, and to do that we're literally going to do a few squirts across the boot, which is going to gently buff that in. All we're doing here is removing any grease contaminants that may be left on the surface following the clean of the car. And the reason we do that is because it will allow a very good bond between the coating and the paintwork, so that when it is applied we get a much longer lasting coating than if it's applied to a surface that's contaminated with any sort of grease, oils, things like that. You see, I'm not putting pressure on, I'm just removing. We don't want to put swirl marks back into the boot whilst we're degreasing, so it's nice and lightly. So we're going to put some gloves on to apply this. It is a solvent-based chemical, so we are going to put some gloves on to apply it. Not very easily, apparently. First, we're going to prime the applicator, and to do that we just pour a bit on the pad, and then we're going to do what's called the cross-hatch technique. We're not going to start on an edge, we're going to start in the middle and we're going to spread. Now I'm going to go, once I finish this little bit here, I'm then going to go the other way, take it horizontally, and that's called the cross-hatch technique. And the reason we do that is to just make sure we are covering all parts of the panel when we're coating. As you can see, I'm not particularly tickling it as such, we're just making sure we're spreading the coating nice and evenly over the surface. Now it's a little bit windy today, again, so you'll see potentially in the video that there's a bit of a rainbow effect appearing quite quickly. When that happens, what we recommend you do is you actually apply a bit more to the surface. It's flashing off just a bit too quickly for my liking, so we'll go over it again ensuring we get everywhere, covering the whole panel. And also don't worry if you go over onto another panel that you're not coating, because we can just simply buff that off with the cloth when we're ready to buff this area. Just done the cross-hatch technique again with that little bit of extra product, and then we're just going to leave that for about a minute. So as you can see now, we're ready to do the first initial buffing stage, and you can see the rainbow effect on the surface, as we like to call it, or a petroleum effect some people might call it. So all we're going to do in this first stage is take a clean dry cloth, we're just going to gently buff that rainbow effect out, just really not putting any pressure on, just gently buffing it out. And what you'll see is it'll go quite smeary, a bit more rainbow as well, but that's fine at the moment. We just want to remove the excess product, which is all we're trying to do at the moment, get rid of a load of the excess. Now normally you'd go around the whole car, so what we recommend is you have 2 cloths with you, if not 4. But for one panel we recommend 2 cloths. The reason being is you can use the first cloth on the next panel once you've completed this panel as your buff off the excess cloth, and then the other coloured cloth we can use as our finisher. And again, we're really not buffing hard here. We are just tickling the surface, just getting rid of that excess product that we don't need on there. Getting us that perfect finish that we're looking for from the coating. No need to rush with this product. It doesn't, you know, don't worry that you might see some excessive rainbow on one part compared to another. You have time with it. We've designed it in such a way that the solvents are non-flammable, so they flow out when you're using the product. And then you want to have a good look once you think you've buffed it, and just check for any slight smearing or the rainbow type effect. Make sure you've buffed all that out. And again, remember, we're not buffing hard, just removing that excess. Last thing you want to do is buff too hard and buff all the product off before it's had a chance to cure on the surface.